Hello, welcome to Blue Rose Podcast. I'm Karen Barno, your host. On Blue Rose Podcast, we discuss spirituality, personal development, self-help, shadow work, energy healing. But today I want to talk to you about identity shifting. I truly believe that this is going to be one of the most talked about topics in 2023. It's not new. Bob Proctor talked about energy shifting, identity shifting 20, 30 years ago. Tony Robbins addressed it. So this isn't a new topic, but I think coming out of everything the past couple years, people are starting to reconnect within, trying to figure out how to rewire their internal circuitry and reignite their possibilities. And when you do identity shifting, pretty much you're doing that. You're looking at, and it really, when you come to set your goals as well, and I have notes here, so if you're watching this on video, it's going to be unusual because usually I just kind of wing it, but I think this topic is so important. Your identity was formed back from 0 to 7, 8 years old. You know, some say up to 10. And keep in mind, your mind was an open vessel. You did not develop any skills at that point to, when people said bad things around you or to you, about you, it got locked in. And it was there forever until you start realizing, that's what shadow work is. It's when we start looking at the things that people have told you in your past and bringing truth to them. In essence, shifting your identity. And to kind of give you an idea what identity shift is, you know, I had a client, I was talking to her over the weekend, and she's like, I want to lose weight. So one of my New Year's resolutions is going to lose 20, really it was 50 pounds. And I said, okay, so what happens when you set that down, you write it, you see it, you believe it, and it's day 4, it's cold where you live, and you don't want to go out and run, and you don't want to get out of bed to exercise. And she's like, well, I'll have to make myself. I said, great, I hope you can. I have faith in you. But let's shift your identity. Instead of saying you want to lose 50 pounds, why don't you say, I am fit and healthy, and I take great care of my body. And she thought about it and she's like, that would work. I said, or you could say, instead of I want to get up and go for a run every day for 3 miles, you could say, I'm a runner. So of course I run. I'm into fitness, so of course I'm going to work out. I'm really into health. I really care about my body, so of course I'm going to eat healthy. It's shifting your identity. It's taking something that you're like, well, how am I going to do that? Into, well, yeah, that's more empowering. It makes me light up. You know, for years I've said, well, I'm going to, time to go make a video. I'm going to go make videos. And I was over the weekend thinking, you know, Karen, really, you're a content creator. You create content over multiple platforms. You have a podcast. You're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, you blog. So I'm a content creator. And you notice that slight difference in what I said to myself when I got up this morning to do this video. I got notes out. I took notes to be prepared because now I'm a content creator. I'm not a fly by the seat of my pants video person. Not that I won't still get on Facebook and do some videos, but it's time to be a content creator and take myself serious. So that is when you shift your identity. So first of all, you have to decide, who are you? And you have to, again, what were you told as a child that you're still carrying around with you that isn't true? You know, I was told I had the fat gene. There's no such thing as a fat gene, but I believed it for 100 years. If you've followed me for a long time, you've listened to my videos to where I talk about I graduated at the bottom, 5% of my class in high school. I barely made it to college, but I graduated. All these, I got this job as the CEO because I was the only one in the room, not as a millionaire. Those are great stories, and they're 100% true, but not one thing is empowering in that story. So what I'm telling myself is I'm an underachiever and got this job because I was there. What I should be saying is I worked my ass off to get this job, and I drove to Tucson, which is 2 hours, an hour and a half with the freeways now, an hour and a half, one way to work down there, to prove that I could do this job, to prove that I was up for the task. So see, that's a big difference between, I was the only one not making, $1 million. Now, yeah, I learned a lot of information from my 3 millionaires and a billionaire friends, and I carry that with me, but it's how you identify yourself. If you want to, let me look at here, some notes here. Say people say, I want to help people and change lives. I was talking to somebody, I want to help people and change lives. No, you want to encourage them to be the best possible version of themselves. And you'll do this by whatever your course of action is. You see how that's different? How you're shifting that identity? How you're making your moves to understand. But first of all, you have to understand who you are and what's important to you. Because you attract into your life who you are. We always think law of attraction, well, what you think about, you bring about. And there's some truth to that. But really, the overriding law is the law of resonance. The people in your life are what your vibrational frequency is that you send out to them. So your people in your life are reflecting back to who you are. And so if you want to raise your vibration, then you'll bring more different people into your life to reflect back the new identity of who you are. Does that make sense? Because so many of us think, well, if I think about I want to be a millionaire, or I want to be, lose 50 pounds and be fit and go run the Tempe Marathon, I can. But if I'm not surrounding myself with people that have that same vision, then it makes it hard to come true. So pay attention to the law of resonance, in which the universe reflects back to us who we are. And so if you want to be somebody different, you have to start reflecting out this new person that you want to be. So there's kind of 3 different techniques to shift your identity. One is your set point. Your set point is kind of like a thermostat at home. If you have your thermostat set to 75, then, if it gets too cold, it'll lower itself to 75. If it gets too hot, it'll raise itself, but it'll set at 75. 75 is kind of mediocre. But if that's what your set point is, that's what you're getting out of your life. So in order to have more, you have to raise your set point. And the way you raise your set point is you raise your standards. You look around at who your friends are and say, are these friends supporting me or not? Is this job giving to me or not? Who do I have to become to have a better life? What do I have to do to set that set point? How do I do that? How do I make that change? And so that's kind of like you raise your thermostat. You start doing things to raise your set point. So say you thought I could never get a job paying $100,000. That's your set point, $100,000. So okay, why don't you change it to 90 or to 120? I can never take a job that pays over 120. Now you've raised your set point, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. So when somebody comes and offers you 100, you're like, oh, I could do that. And I know I picked big numbers, but it's kind of like, I could never lose, 75 pounds, to which I have over the past couple years. But I would tell myself that, how am I going to lose 75 pounds? But then I changed it and said, I'm just going to eliminate 10 pounds. That's all, 10 pounds. Well, 10 pounds is easy. Think about it. It's much easier than 75. I mean, 1 pound would be a lot easier, but you know what I'm saying? So that's how you change. You look at your set point to where you go back to. Because if your set point, you talk about weight. If your set point is 200, then if you lose 30, 40 pounds, if you haven't done the change of how you view yourself, you're going to go right back to 200. You'll see this play out over and over and over. That wherever your comfort level is where you'll return to, because that's where your set point is. So that's why you have to change your mind and say, when I look absolutely fantastic and healthy and sexy at 150. I look fantastic at 150, and you change your set point. The next technique is limitations. Look at how you're holding yourself back. If you want to start your own business, you're really good at making chocolate chip cookies, and and everybody that you give them to is like, my God, you should sell these. So you decide you're going to. The limitations you have are the people around you. So you go and you say, I'm going to start selling chocolate chip cookies. And people are like, good God, everybody sells chocolate chip cookies. But mine are different. Well, really? Those are limitations of your friends holding you back. You could have, I would love to start selling cookies, but I don't have money. So it's the limitations of money. But there's all kinds of ways to do this. If I try this new thing, if I create this, then I'll get this and I'll forget about myself. If I start baking cookies and people start buying them, or people start telling me how amazing they are, I'm going to feel good about myself, and your limitations are going to change. If I lose 50 pounds, I'm going to start dressing much different and show up in a much different way and feel really good about myself. So you kind of think of, if I try this new thing or create this new thing or whatever, or get this new job, then I will get X. And X is the positive. X is what you're really going to get. And then you're going to feel good about yourself. Because when you feel good about yourself, you keep moving, you keep doing it. You keep rocking it out. You keep moving forward. And I have no idea where rocking it out came from. I haven't said that in 100 years. That's kind of odd. And then the last thing is, of course, my notes got a little disorganized there. And really, the second thing was I already talked about. You attract into your life the law of resonance. So it's whatever your set point is, what you're attracting into your life, or the limitations you place onto yourself. But once you start thinking through that, once you change what you say to yourself, I got another example over here. I hate when people on podcasts start talking, all of a sudden quit talking. I used to always say, I'm a goofball. I'm such a goofball. What a goofball I am. But that's how I was defining myself, because people used to tell me, you're such a goofball. You're a goofball. But do I want to be known as a goofball? I like to have fun and all that, but do I want to? No. So why don't I change it to, I always take myself seriously. I know when it's time to have fun, and I know when it's time to be serious. Or another thing is, looking up here, I already talked about the one with the weight. So think of how you want to identify yourself. So if you're setting goals over the holidays, and please, I hope you are, and if you need any help, let me know. I love goal setting. It's my jam. Look at how you set your goals. If you're setting your goal, I want to be a better mother. That's great, but that's not going to inspire when your kid comes home and you're exhausted and you're hungry and you're like, oh. What will inspire you is, I want to be a much more loving person. And I want to stop before my anger or whatever gets in my way so I can move forward. So it's just shifting how you think, moving that little bit of thinking. So look at the patterns. Make your pattern proactive, not reactive. So reactive is, you want to lose, 30 pounds. So you're like, I am going to be fit and sexy by Valentine's Day. And then you're at work and somebody brings in your most favorite blueberry pie in the world. Reactive, you'll eat that. You'll go right over and eat that. Proactive, you'll look at it, you'll say, man, I know you baked it. Maybe I'll have a little spoonful, but I'm fit and I'm happy and I'm healthy and I want to take care of myself. Who's going to begrudge you that? It's all in what you say. It's all in how you talk. So you want to be locked in and go after your dreams. It starts with how you view yourself and how you shift your identity to a more empowered way of being. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on YouTube, put comments. If you're watching this on my podcast, you can shoot me a comment over on Facebook. I'm on Facebook page Karen Barno. YouTube, of course. I'm on TikTok, Karen Barno. And I'm on LinkedIn. Guess what? That's right, Karen Barno. Have a great day. And finding your blue rose is an identity as well. Because blue rose is new beginnings, transformation. And that's why I picked it. Because your new identity is the new beginning of you, the personal development, the transformation to become the best version of yourself. So I look forward to working together with you guys. And if you're interested, I have a 6-week Find Your Blue Rose, 6 Proven Principles starting on January 3rd. It's for $47. It's over on my website, KarenBarno.com. And we just kind of start the beginning steps of how to change, how to transform and shift your identity. Hope this helped you guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.